This is going to be my third recovery diary entry, and today is a beautiful snowy day. It's beautiful. Before I get into it, please do not hesitate to subscribe and like and share and comment this video if you like my content and these very real, very messy hair, no makeup kind of videos, which I'm clearly a specialist of, you know, clearly. And I'll show you this little snowstorm we have going on. Look at that. Woo. Anyway, I am going to go into how I've been feeling these last few days. Actually, last few days, like yesterday and today. And it's been tough. I had my therapist appointment 2 days ago, and at the beginning of the year he usually kind of says, where do you want to be going this year? Where do you want to be going this year? Like what are our objectives, so that he can also get a bit of an idea of where we're going, what he should be doing, and so on. And I really stressed how my eating disorder really has to go. I do not want anything to do with it anymore. I just don't. I can't. It's gone. My tolerance is 0. And I had talked to him about this before, last session, which was quite a while ago because our holidays really weren't very, didn't match very well. And so I think the last time I saw him was a month ago, which is, you know, we usually see each other about once a fortnight. And I talked about this to him. Oh my God, I don't know how to talk anymore. At our last session, if I can get to the end of this sentence. And he'd been, usually he isn't like this, so it's not just that he's a bad therapist, but he had been a bit dismissive about it, yeah, that's just your way of dealing with life. And I had been a bit I don't really like the fact that you're kind of dismissing this objective. And so I brought this back onto the table saying, look, this is no joke, I want to be doing this. And he was a lot more receptive to it, and maybe I explained it better, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, he was very receptive to this. And I explained that one of the big contexts where I get all of these, both the restrictive and the overeating parts of me express themselves when this very childlike part of me is oh my God, I did something wrong, I did something wrong, oh my God, you know, very super vigilant, or hypervigilant, I guess hypervigilant is a better word, kind of child part of me is expecting the world to collapse because I did something wrong, which is something I was brought up with all my life. Sorry, I'm just quite uncomfortable in my chair right now. So I keep moving around, sorry. And so, this feeling of, oh my God, I did something wrong, often leads to one of two things, or usually to one then the other thing, which is restriction, because that I can control, and that I feel is doing something good, which, you know, it clearly isn't. But, and then it leads to my body feeling deprived, and then the mental hunger and the physical hunger, and then overeating. Or also sometimes it leads to binging straight away because I'm stuffing down the emotions and that part of me which is oh. And we did an exercise, so I was clearly feeling that when I went to the session, so we set out he set out an exercise for me where I'd feel where that part of me was, and he basically he told me to give it some space and accept that it's there for a reason, and that this childlike part of me that is hypervigilant and tries to prevent the slightest thing from going wrong is there for a reason, and serves a purpose and deserves a place. And so we gave it some space and so on, and then he asked me to say like what that led that part to do, which was basically to relax. And I felt that part of me felt a lot more relaxed at the end, and then led me to like see if I had a message for this part of me. And the conclusion was that I had a message that like instantly came. Sometimes when the therapist says like, is there something coming up? Like I completely blank out, but in this case it shot out like a bullet. I had the answer in less than a microsecond. And the answer to that was, you are safe. And God, I struggle to cry. I'm really not a big crier, especially when there are people there. And I think I cried once at my therapist in 5 years, and the once I cried was because I miscarried. So I mean, meaning that it was, you know, something quite hard to go through. And so I had tears kind of welling up, but it didn't come out because I'm stupid for that. I don't let it out. But saying you are safe to that very child, that abused little child that I was, and so my job until our next session is to give space to that kid that's always on the lookout, always like, oh my God, trying to keep me out of danger, essentially. Trying to keep me alive, out of danger, not punished, not humiliated, not all of these things. And so my task is to give that part of me space, to honor it, and to accompany it as an adult and tell it that it is safe and loved and understood. And I'm trying to do that. I mean, I started off this entry by saying that it's tough because, you know, of course, I will, this will continue for a long time, but I get caught off guard, and I still feel like guilty when I overeat and stuff, so yeah, whatever. That didn't make a lot of sense. Ignore the last sentence. It didn't bring any value to this video. Anyway, I thought I would talk about that, about the therapist thing, which I thought was pretty interesting. I mean, we've touched on a lot of interesting stuff in the past, but this time I really felt it inside, like, whew, like it every single, like, it lasted about, the exercise lasted about half an hour, and every, like, minute of the exercise I was like, whoa, I'm really feeling this, every single piece of it. This little hurt child, abused, hurt, traumatized child that I was, and this just trying to get out of trouble and trying to stay alive. And that turned to eating or not eating later on, because that's an easy way. That was the only accessible, easy way I had to regulate my emotions, to regulate my anxieties. And although I want the eating disorder behaviors to stop, I don't want to squish that child that's still inside of me. I don't want to annihilate it and say, don't exist, because it's only going to make the problem worse. And so giving it space in that time, like doing it like once with a therapist, like in a moment where I was receptive, because we've done exercises like this many, many times. And, you know, I'm more or less receptive just because, you know, we're human, we're not always exactly in the mood. But this time, it blew my mind how receptive I was in that precise moment and how efficient it was. And I have to kind of work to keep this in mind and repeat and repeat and repeat all the time. As soon as I feel an anxiety, which, newsflash, is basically all the time. As soon as I feel that, I have to kind of like, okay, there's space. You are scared because of this. You think this is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. You're safe. I'm here to take care of you. Your concerns are valid, and I understand why you have them, but I'm here and you're safe. So yeah, I thought I would explain that. In terms of eating, so I'm really close to my period, and so it's always I'm always a bit like iffy. I mean, obviously with PMS, it's always a bit more difficult, and I tend to eat more than I do usually, so that's obviously really challenging for my eating disorders, especially the restrictive parts, because I feel like, oh, you're a big fat pig, you're this, you're that, when really it's just, it's PMS. I eat more at this period of the year, yes, I only have one period a year. No, at this time of the month, just because hormones, newsflash, hormones are a thing, and they change the way you act in so many ways. And at this time of the month, I eat differently. It's like this every month, and I still get hung up over it. And also, I haven't died from it, I haven't ballooned from it, nothing dramatic has happened, so I have to keep ingraining this in my brain that before my period, I just need more food. And also, sometimes a little bit unhealthier food, like more comforting food. And I just have to get okay with that, and that's where I'm at the moment, is like, just being like, yeah, it's fine. It's just, I'm trying to follow my cravings and my body signals, and so what? Yeah, I ate chocolate chip Weetabix for breakfast and lunch today. What up? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't. It doesn't matter at all. Well, as I said in my first entry, it doesn't make me a bad person. And also, there's nothing abnormal about it. You don't have to eat kale salad at every meal to consider yourself healthy or normal. It just really doesn't. I'm normal. I ate my breakfast and lunch with Weetabix, chocolate chip Weetabix with soy milk. It's fine. If I want something else this evening, I'll have something else. If I want the same, why not have the same? And tomorrow, and every meal and every snack will be different. And I just have to that's one of the things I have to work towards accepting, is that sometimes my body's going to be craving something, because my body's going to be craving it. And giving it to my body is not a failure, it's a success, it's a triumph. I just have to accept it, and that's where things get complicated. But I'm doing it. At least I'm doing it. Right, guys, I think I have said everything I had to say. Although I know as soon as I turn this video off, I'll be like, oh my god, I forgot to say this, and this, or I could have phrased this, and this. You know, perfectionism. You understand me. You know where I'm coming from. So, if you like this video, please subscribe. I would love to have a chat with you down in the comments, or like this video if you did. I'll be seeing you very, very soon. Bye guys, take care, ciao ciao.